it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais with another weekly wrap-up for the Yakking Show, and this is for the week ending 28th of February 2025. Wow, almost through February. First, let's welcome co-host Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Peter. The sun is shining and it feels wonderful.
You right there. I just went outside in shorts and no jacket just to pick up something outside, and it was brisk, but it was really pleasant. So we're having a few warmer days. Anyway,
How many times have I got to tell you, Peter, you don't wear shorts in February?
well, if it's above freezing, I wear shorts because that's the way I am. So it looked a little incongruous. I had my insulated rubber boots on, long rubber boots to plow through the snow. So anyway,
There you go.
that's there was some saying about mad dogs and Englishmen also go out in the midday sun or something from way back, and I think I have some of that in my genes. Anyway, Kathleen, it's enough about me waffling about the weather. Would you want to go straight into your deep dive on
I
your medical
do,
issue?
Peter. Yes, I do. In fact,
What have you got? What do you got for us?
this is an article from Dr. Mercola, and we will provide the link to the full article in this video. But Peter, today I want to talk about how vitamin D3 helps fight cavities. Had you heard this
Ah,
before?
no, I haven't.
No? Well, just to give you a little bit of a glance here. So, vitamin D3 synthesized from sunlight
hmm
plays a key role in oral health by promoting the remineralization of weakened tooth enamel, helping to reverse early stage cavities and to help strengthen teeth. So, research demonstrates that vitamin D3 improves calcium absorption and availability, which are essential for the natural repair and strengthening of tooth enamel, thus reducing cavity risks. So, it makes sense. And it says here, epidemiological research reveals a correlation between low vitamin D3 levels in adolescents and an increased risk of developing cavities, highlighting the importance of adequate vitamin D for dental health. And it says here, vitamin D contributes to healthy tooth development even before birth and
Wow,
strengthens your body's defense against cavity-causing bacteria by boosting antimicrobial proteins in saliva. So,
interesting.
the maintaining optimal vitamin D levels through sun exposure or supplementation combined with consistent oral hygiene practices is essential for protecting and maintaining a healthy, strong smile. So there you go.
That's very interesting, isn't it? And
We're learning so much about vitamin D3, aren't we?
yeah, yeah,
And of
we are
course,
indeed.
I'm mentioning vitamin D3, but what we've also learned is the importance of supplementing with K2 along with the vitamin D.
hmm Along
So,
with that, yeah, yeah.
yes.
So that's interesting, and it begs the question that with the changes in society and with the migration from rural to urban lifestyles, I would guess that a lot of kids are exposed to far less sunlight than they used to be 50 or 100 years ago, right? Because they're in school for longer, they're glued to screens instead of playing outside in the street. So I
Absolutely.
wonder if that would be an interesting study to see if there's a correlation between increase in kids' cavities. Yeah, interesting one. So, well, thanks for that. I picked up a very quick one that I found very interesting,
Mhm.
and that was an article, and we'll put a link in the description that said lifestyle and environmental factors can have a bigger effect on aging or bigger impact on aging and longevity than genetics. We always tend to think that genetics is the problem why we develop these chronic diseases and don't live long enough.
Right.
But this study shows that genetics is perhaps not the most important factor, that even if you have some bad genetics, if you have the right lifestyle and don't get exposed to too many environmental toxins and stresses, you could overcome your genetic problems. So I found that one interesting.
It is. It is. And we
Now, and again, it goes back to things that I've said before, how I've seen people in rural Africa who don't have particularly healthy diets by what we consider modern standards, but they don't eat fast food, they're not exposed to toxins, and despite all the other problems they may have, they live quite long, healthy lives, right?
Mhm.
So, interesting one.
That's
Right,
right.
now what have you got for your health recommendation this week, Kathleen?
Well, Peter, we like to believe that spring is just around the corner, and I'm going to have faith in that, that spring is around the corner. So every spring, I like to do a body cleanse, like a full internal cleanse. And what better way to do that than with Dr. Morse's products? So I had a shipment delivered to me just yesterday, and I'm just going to show you part of that wonderful shipment that I received. One of them, of course, is GI Broom. This is for
All
gut
right.
health. We've talked about that before, but look at this. Look at all of these wonderful tinctures.
Wow, look at that.
So they range like there's a lot of them here, for brain and the nervous system. I don't know if you can see that. Of course, kidney, lymphatic drainage,
Hmm.
right? So there's pituitary support. So a whole box of this,
Wow.
as well as our love teas from Dr. Morris,
Oh,
the
yes. Yeah.
tea along with the Heal All tea.
Little tea, right?
So all of these help to really clean out the body. So come March, I'm going to go back on a all fruit, all veggie raw diet for the month while I'm taking these supplements and really clean my insides out. And you feel wonderful going through this. You really do.
Wow, very good. So
And we
you
are
said
going to put a link to the detox kits from Dr. Morse below this video, by the way, aren't we, Peter?
we're going to do that. We will do that. You mentioned brain and nervous system. So thinking of myself, do they do an extra large bottle of that?
Yeah, I know you can. Well, you can
I
do it
prob
more than once, you know. You can
probably
have
I
several.
probably need it, you know. That that's good. And of course it's packaged so well and
Oh my goodness, is it ever? You
you
should have
know,
seen the bubble wrap and oh my goodness, I've ordered several products from Dr. Morse. I've never had an accident where something's broken during shipment. So it's
oh, that's good.
they do
Now
a good job.
you're you're going to start your cleanse program in March, but you're going away, aren't you? So you're doing that before you go or when you get back?
Before I go. Yeah,
Before
before I
you
go.
go.
Yes, not going out in March. Not
Okay.
going anywhere in
No, I
March.
okay. No, I just wondered. I thought, well, quite a lot of stuff to take with you if you're going to try and continue that when you're in another country.
No, no.
Anyway, so thanks for
You're
that,
welcome,
Kathleen.
Peter.
So let's tell you what's been happening on the Yakking Show. Well, as you know, we now only have a guest episode every second week, so we didn't have a guest episode this week. But just a reminder that last week we published an episode of the D Manny, and
Mm.
Dee cured her cancer with cannabis oil. And she's a really interesting person to listen to or to watch that episode. Uh, so that was last week. Coming up next week on the 4th of March, we will have Scott Bucco, and he calls himself my brain mechanic, and he helps people overcome the effects of traumatic brain injury. He had something happen to him, and he's managed to alleviate all the problems, and he tells you how to do it. And he's an expert in functional medicine, so that's a very interesting episode coming up. And it gives, I think, what I enjoyed about what he had to say was it gives hope to people who, by and large, have been written off, right, by
Mm.
conventional medicine. They said you've had a brain injury or you've had a stroke, yeah, you might get a little bit of improvement, but effectively you're done. And he's proved that that's absolutely incorrect, that even in serious traumatic brain injuries, there is hope for, if not 100% recovery, significant recovery, and he helps people live a normal life after these injuries. So it's a very encouraging episode. And
Yes.
then 2 weeks after that, on the 18th of March, we will have Thea Trussler from Kathleen's favorite country, Ireland, talking about training service dogs and helping. And she has some amazing stories about how clever some of these dogs are at looking after people with problems, right? But we don't want to spoil it, so you're going to have to wait a couple of weeks to watch that episode. Kathleen, any comments on any of our guests?
Dee Manny was absolutely exceptional, Peter. And what we have to tell our viewers is that what she used to cure her cancer wasn't just CBD oil, it was cannabis oil. And
Cannabis oil, yeah.
she goes into the differences in this interview. And what was really sad and disheartening is that Dee was told she was going to die.
Hmm.
She was given
Yeah.
probably a year to live.
Yeah.
And so an absolutely amazing story. And if you think that there is no cure, think again. There
Hmm.
always is a
For sure.
way. There is
That's right.
always a way.
Yeah, because she was told that without treatment she'd be dead in a year,
Yep.
and with radiation and chemo she might get 2 years, and she'd seen a family member suffer from all of that, and she said, "I'm not going to put myself through that," and she started researching alternative remedies, and as you said, cannabis oil, and now 8 years later she's still completely free of cancer, right? So,
Amazing story. Yeah,
oh,
very
just
inspirational.
and what I liked about it, having, again, I've mentioned this before, my conservative background always steered me clear of any mind-altering drugs. She explained the difference between the hallucinatory parts of cannabis oil and
THC.
the parts that heal you. So that put my mind at rest, certainly. And yeah, very good. Very good. So our featured author of this for the week is again Dee Manny with her book My Way, following the cancer brick road, and she tells her story in great detail in that book. So there'll be a link to the book in the description. We want to give a shout out again to Dr. Mike Debord, who was our guest in episode 425 in December. And he's the founder of B3 Sciences, and he produces the B3 BFR band, which is a blood flow restriction. The
Mhm.
whole idea of this, you need to watch the episode to get all the detail, but in a nutshell, by using these bands, you restrict the blood flow, so you increase your exercise intensity, and you can give your body a workout in half an hour that would otherwise take you a couple of hours in a gym to do. So, very useful pieces of equipment, and there'll be a link to that in the description below. So that's what we've got, what we've had, and what we've got on the Yakking Show. Kathleen, back to you.
Well, Peter, I just want to mention about our Facebook group. This is
Yes,
a brand new group that we just formed. It's called the Yakking Show Community Forum. We invite all of our guests to join that group, and we also invite all of you to join so that you can engage with any of our guests that we've had on the show. If you have questions, you can message with them directly. It's a great opportunity to basically network and engage with our guests.
absolutely. And we've got some more interesting guests coming up that we haven't even mentioned yet.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it from me.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next week, take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.